Okay, battery's fresh. We'll talk some more about the Sturgis stuff that I was going to talk about had my battery not died. I don't think I'm going to go to Pontiac just because it looks like the temp's going to start dropping, and I don't want to mess with that stuff. So it's like, you know what? At least not today. Maybe tomorrow. Maybe tomorrow. That might be it tomorrow. But I think tonight, or right now, I'm going to head over and see the boys at Phantom and see what stuff they have over there. We're going to see what they have over there. So we're going to see the boys over there first. And then from there, probably head down towards Sturgis because they're doing a chili cook-off today, I think. Chili or soup, one of the two I saw. So, but we'll head on over there to Phantom first. And then, so yeah, I think that's what we're going to do. They're talking about it being windy as hell and the temperature being about 50. And I don't have my rain pants or Under Armour on, so that's a little bit cooler than I want to mess with. But as I was talking about earlier before my battery got cut off, so I might go ahead and I might repeat myself. If I do, I apologize. Sinuses are all jacked up. Allergies are starting to hit. I'm gonna have to start taking my Claritin, I think. But anyway, I'm thinking I'm going to go ahead and so as I was saying earlier, and if I repeat myself, I apologize. We'll leave out bright and early, you know, Friday the 31st of July. Like I said, 1:30, 2 o'clock. Basically, I'm going to set the alarm for basically 1:45 or 2. And you might be looking at me, why in the world would you leave that early? And that's the time I leave for work. Number one. Number two, that way I'm through Chicago and, should I choose to, Milwaukee before rush hour really gets bad. If I leave, now, assuming I leave at, 2 o'clock, I make a quick pit stop, maybe, 15 minutes, top the tank up, either in Michigan City or at the Quick Trip in Lansing. The Quick Trip with a Q, by the way. I should be, if I leave at 2, if I'm rolling by 2, that puts me in Chicago. It's about an hour and a half, so puts me in Chicago right about 3:30, and then it's about another hour and a half to get to Milwaukee. So yeah, I should be in Milwaukee no later than about 5:30. So yet again, before traffic starts getting crappy. And then from Milwaukee, I think it's 3 hours. 3 hours from Milwaukee to I think it's like 3 hours from Milwaukee to get up to La Crosse. That sounds about right. There's a fuel stop in there, so yeah, that puts me getting to La Crosse 8 o'clock, 8:30, somewhere in there, if I'm running hard. Now, if I leave earlier, yeah, I might have a little more bebop time, but the goal is to make sure I'm at La Crosse, 8, 8:30. Maybe even a little early would be good too. And then just try to make sure I'm rolling back on the road, hopefully by about 10. And it should take me about 5 hours to get across Minnesota. So, you know, that means I'm getting to Sioux Falls right about 3 o'clock, which would be the goal. That way I can check in, get everything set up, get the power hooked up, unload the bike, assuming I'm able to, unload the bike, get the power hooked up, level, depending what the weather's like. You know, if the weather looks like it's going to be cruddy, I'm going to unhook. But if the weather looks like it's going to be decent, I'm just going to stay hooked, because I can unhook the truck in probably, God, 5 minutes, 10 minutes. It don't take very long. Yeah, 5-10 minutes. So that's the opposite way. They must have, or either that or the F-150 is just backwards. Like my 250, the U-bolts actually go up and clamp on the spring plate. Man, whatever, it's fine. But yeah, so I've got so yeah, we'll have 6. Yeah, that would put me getting into Sioux Falls right about 3 o'clock or so. Unload the bike, get everything set up, maybe take a quick shower, maybe, I don't know, depending on how I feel, and then go inside and bebop and have dinner. Maybe play, maybe not, I don't know. So then Saturday and Sunday, if the weather's good during the day and they just have evening and afternoon storms, Saturday we'll spend most of the day in the saddle. Probably get back to camp 5:30, something like that. Depending on how crazy it is. Probably have dinner at the casino again. Maybe a quickie, maybe not, I don't know, we'll see. A lot depends on how the Friday goes at the casino. If I have a winning session, yeah, maybe I'll play a little more. If I get my tank kicked in, okay, maybe I just play bubble craps or something like that for, you know, $100, and when it's gone, or I try to double it, you know. But yeah. And then, so then Sunday would be less, you know, would probably be like half day of riding, like probably have breakfast at the casino, ride till probably about 2, load the bike. If I've unhooked the truck for whatever reason, hook the truck back up. But go ahead and hook the truck back up, get ready to but hook the truck back up, and then go ahead and in effect be ready to roll out, you know, pull the slide in, dump my tanks, you know, take a shower, dump my tanks, probably unhook the water and the water and the sewer line, and just run off the tank should I need to. Yeah, and then probably just run off the sewer or the tank. I'll have like 25 or so gallons of fresh water in the system. That's it. That way in the morning when I wake up, you know, 5 o'clock or so, make coffee real quick, pull my jacks up. Probably as the coffee's brewing, I'll go ahead and start pulling the jacks up. That way as soon as it's done, you know, dump my grounds or whatever, my pot out, and yeah. Yep. Probably. I don't know. I might just say, you know what, we'll stop somewhere we'll stop at a gas station on the way over there and go ahead and grab me a cup of coffee and go that route. I don't know. We'll see. A lot depends on what time I wake up to. And the goal is to be on the road. I'll probably set my alarm for like 6. I wouldn't mind being on the road earlier, because I think the chip opens at 8 o'clock, I think. I might be wrong, but I think it's 8. But I think it's 8 o'clock, and with it being 8 o'clock that the chip opens, you know, I wouldn't mind being there right around, I don't want to be there right at 8. I'd rather be there around, you know, 10:30 or 11. The thinking being that way it's late enough where I'm just going to go. There ain't nobody coming. Yeah, that way I'll be rolling out of camp. Let's call it, you know, like I said, worst case scenario, 6 o'clock. It's 385 miles, something like that. So at 385, that means you're right at 6 hours of wheel time, maybe a little more than that. If I leave at 4 and I don't really stop at all, that puts me getting into, yeah, well, do like you normally do, plan at 50. You might end up stopping at Walmart. You might, I don't know, in Mitchell. But yeah, plan at your 50s. That's 7.5 hours. So yeah, that means if I leave at 4, that puts me getting in there around 10. It's a little earlier than I'd like to get there. Not by a lot, but probably about, you know, 45 minutes to an hour. That's why, you know, 5:36 is probably about perfect. And then, as then we, so then as I get to, you know, yeah. So yeah, that puts me getting to, that would put, if I left at 5, that would put me getting into the chip right around noon, because you pick up an hour too. Which would be just about perfect. Woo, squirrely. Now the decision I'm going to have is, do I go down 394 for a little bit to go a little further south to either stagger, or do I go down, do I stay on this to 57? Remember what Sauk Trail becomes. It becomes Laraway, right, in Will County? Yeah. Yeah, they're like, what, 20 cents higher? So that ain't terrible. really depends on what this light do. The arrows now, so we'll probably plan on going straight. So yeah, let's say I get to the chip around noon. Figure an hour and a half to 2 hours to check in and get camp set up, and then probably I'll go into town, because I think that'll be just a little bit, you know, if it's 2 o'clock, I don't think I'll have enough time quite to go to, yeah, maybe I'll go to Keystone that night. I don't know, we'll see. I either go downtown or I'll probably go to Keystone. And then Tuesday, Wednesday for sure, we'll be hitting Iron Mountain and Needles as many times as I can. I must have become a pilot. But yeah, so that's kind of what I'm looking at. And then, like I said, once I get to Sturgis Tuesday, or Monday rather, excuse me, depending on what time everything's set up, we'll either go into downtown for the night, or go down to hit the Powder House for the first time. And yeah, because if it'll be, you know, let's just say it's flipping, everything's set up and it's 2 o'clock. Yeah, I'll probably go to I'll probably go hit Iron Mountain really quick one time. You know, maybe Needles as well. Maybe, I don't know. The nice thing is it'll be so early that I don't think it'll be that busy. And then, like I said, Tuesday and Wednesday we'll try to hit Needles and Iron Mountain as many times as possible. And then the first day that the rally at exit 55 starts doing their stuff, we'll go over there. But yeah, I don't know yet. They still haven't announced all the concerts and stuff. I was looking last night, and I will say this much: the Throttle is trying to displace the Chip in terms of where the big names are going. The big names are now playing. You know, you look at, okay, yeah, Lainey Wilson, Skinnerd, and then you've got, who else? Megadeth, Buck Cherry. Was it Shinedown or Smile Empty Soul? Or no, Collective Souls. Collective Soul. Yeah. I know I'm forgetting bands. I apologize, but those are the ones that the Chip have announced so far. There's 2 or 3 nights where they haven't announced headliners yet. And then the Throttle has Sammy Hagar. Oh, the Chip has David Lee Roth too. That's who I forget. The Throttle has Sammy Hagar, Journey, Jamie Johnson, which, depending on what that day that is, I might go see him. I don't know. There's a couple of shows at the Throttle that have me, maybe, I don't know. But that'll be something I'll have to be inside with my phone in front of me so I can keep an eye and say, well, who do I want to see? Who do I want to see? It's like, I'm not sure, but I think there's an outside chance that David Lee Roth and Sammy Hagar, the two lead singers from Van Halen, are playing on the same night. I'm not sure, but I think they are. I might be wrong, but I thought that's how it was. Then, hello. So yeah, like I said, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday will probably be as many times I can on Needles and Iron Mountain. Friday might be a good day to go to Wall. Might be. Do the Badlands. Do the Badlands, come back up, you know. So do that. Stop by Wounded Knee. Yeah, Wounded Knee is just... maybe. I don't know. We'll see. But we'll definitely do the Badlands loop. We'll definitely do that. Go to Wall. Hello. But yeah, so that'll probably... That might be Friday. But yeah, you know... And then Saturday, I might go and do... Saturday I might go and do the big flip of the rock. Not Devil's Tower. I was about to say Chimney Rock. No, it's not Chimney Rock. Yeah, depending on if I can find a replacement for me or not for our football scrimmage, that's going to determine whether I stay until at least Friday morning and possibly even Saturday. Western. Is there anything else? No, I think that's pretty much everything on the way out there. Yeah, I think that's everything on the way out there. Plants, fuel stops, probably somewhere around Wisconsin Dells or Mauston, because that tends to be a little cheaper than Madison. Who knows? This could all change. I mean, this could all change because, you know, but generally speaking, your cheap fuel spots, they're pretty steady. Yeah, the exact price might change, but generally where it's cheap doesn't really change all that much. So unless something drastic changes, we'll probably top up before we leave, either, you know, the night before or something. Now, like I said, this will be something I'll need to look at between gas money and things like that for. Now, the other thing is the truck stop that's by the house tends to be pretty cheap too. So, yeah, that's a possibility. Then as for but then as for that, we'll try to make it all the way to like the Wisconsin Dells, or somewhere between Wisconsin Dells and like Mauston. And then after leaving there, we'll stop probably around Austin, because Austin tends to be pretty cheap, cheaper than Albert Lee. And then more than likely we'll go ahead and top up one more time before getting to camp, you know, or at least put enough in there so I can make it to Mitchell for sure. Which would mean I need like 100 miles of range in South Dakota, maybe a little more than that. So yeah, figure add like 150 miles of range needed from what I'd have to get to the campground. Now, here's the other thing. If I unhook the truck, I'll probably plan on running over one day in the truck, especially if it's Saturday. And we'll go to Brandon, because Brandon, South Dakota tends to be cheap. But then, more than likely, depending on where my fuel situation is, we'll stop in Mitchell, then Vivian, and then probably just top up in Rapid. That way I don't have to worry about it when I get to, you know, camp. Unless, you know, I'm unhooking. Well, I'll unhook it chip for sure, but maybe early on I run to, I don't know, we'll see. We'll see. A lot will depend on what the price of diesel is in Sturgis at the one gas station there that's across from that was it, Kickstarter. Yeah, that's you know, across from the Stump and the Steel Pony, and right outside. But yeah, so that's kind of what's going on there. Yeah, I think that's pretty much everything I want to talk about Sturgis. So if you like this kind of thing, drop a like, drop a comment. Tell me I'm an asshole if you don't. I don't care. I got my big boy panties on. I can take it. Probably should have went down. I don't think it matters. Could have went down Governors, but yeah, it's fine. I'd rather go down Governors than go down 50 Cicero. But we'll get over there to Phantom and make a determination from there.